I'll move.
I'll second.
Mark,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz.
Okay.
Do we need to do a motion for Jason?
Jason.
Yes, we do.
I don't know if I wread it in there, 7.5.
We have a 7.5. Motion to approve Jason Ranking's position from 30 to 35 hours per week effective August 18th, 2026. Director to take any action regarding, oh, no, something separate.
Yes, that's
Okay.
it. Yes, for the duration of his.
Service as lead at Sardine.
Thank you.
Well said. Need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Mark,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz. Yeah.
And then we have that little extra. So it's not a motion, but a statement that the board is approving the director to proceed with retention of an attorney to attend the hearing on the boundary.
I move. Oh, no, what?
We're just gonna-
recommend.
No, it's just a
Okay,
statement.
Okay.
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 Do we usually get a response from our attorney within the time frame that we have for that?
Lynn is not only going to send him an email message, but she's going to go to his office with phone calls.
Daily.
I have two things real quick. Number one, not to belabor the subject, but do we want to put on the docket to make a motion to amend our bylaws to include the board?
So I would say that there are a couple of places where I have to make adjustments to the
Okay.
membership years anyway, and I
Okay.
thought that
And we'll
we
do it all
would do it
at
all
one
at
time.
once
Okay.
rather than
Yeah.
do
Mhm.
now and then do it
Yeah,
again.
that's, I just didn't know,
Yeah.
like, if we had to
Yeah.
formally do that. And then my next question was, and I don't know if you're gonna talk about it or not, has there been any discussion or movement on the manager position at Sardinia?
We will not be doing anything until the board makes some decisions about the staffing structure.
Okay. I was just curious. Okay,
Good, Tina?
I'm good.
Okay, so we'll move out
Okay, 6:40.
and then we'll transition into the regular board meeting, starting with the roll call.
All right.
Heather?
Mark,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina. Yes. April,
Yes.
Amber,
Yes.
and Liz. Yeah.
Tanya is back on, yes.
All right, Tanya. Any public participation
I do not know, but we are live streaming now.
on YouTube? Yep, so we may have
We
some
may
there.
have some.
Okay. Need approval of the minutes for the June 2026 regular board meeting.
So moved.
Mark,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina, yeah, April,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz. Yeah.
All right, number 4, correspondence then.
So, remember that we're covering a couple of months here since we did not have a July meeting. So you've got your July and August public library fund listed there. One was a little over 79,000, one a little over 80,000. And we did receive from the Department of Taxation an estimate. Now, when we had a percentage of the PLF, we got an estimate for the entire calendar year. But now that we are a line item, they only gave us an estimate for the first 6 months because that's when the new state budget will then take effect in the second 6 months of 2027. So, we don't know if that's going to impact how the Budget Commission makes any decisions or not, because they typically will approve a budget for an entire year, and now they've got this that they have to follow. I have not heard from them at this point, but I'm also good. We've got some other things going right now, and I figure I will wait until the Budget Commission is ready because they're dealing with a lot of stuff right now. We did receive several thank you letters from various groups. And I'm gonna pass around a couple of them.
And I love the youth providing thank you. Yeah, I think that says a lot.
Yes, yes.
Says a lot.
And I did send an email message to all of you on Friday afternoon, forwarding the call to action about E-rate funding. You know, but just like they said, oh, we're gonna do away with the Institute of Museum and Library Services, and that is a big source of funding for a lot of library programs around the nation. Now they're after the E-rate funding. They said, oh, it's worked so well that we're gonna take it away because you don't need it. So they need to, our legislators, our congressmen need to hear from us that this is absolutely necessary. There's been some talk about, well, either they're gonna fully eliminate it or they'll eliminate it for everyone except for rural areas. Well, okay, that might be all right, but, not just rural areas need the money, there are poor urban areas too. So, yeah, but this is really essential. I think somewhere, and maybe I'll come across it later. Oh, I wrote it in the message to you. We're eligible for over $45,000 worth of refunds from E-rate every year. Where are we gonna come up with $45,000
Yeah.
every year?
Thin air.
Yeah, that's what's expected.
Didn't we plant a money tree on the side?
It's not
Oh, we did.
We're not on Roblox, right? Is that the one where they like have the money tree or something they can buy?
What a good
Hey,
idea.
Sarah, can you go out and pull a $500 bill out of the tree?
Everybody would be-
guarded. I'm telling
Everybody
you.
would be an opportunity.
And this is a little bit disheartening for me to read, but when you look at, the collections for the state's general revenue fund, they are so exceeding the estimates. If we were still on the percentage basis, we would be having significantly more money coming. But no, let's get one line item. And speaking of budgets, so next year is a state budget year, the odd years, they do state budget, and so OLC is already helping us prepare. They come around in the fall and they hold regional meetings, trying to gather library directors that share legislators, so we can start talking about what's our messaging for this next state budget and all of that. So it's going to happen early in October, and Sarah and Heather are going to go to that so that they can hear what others have to say. You might just run into the director of the Lancaster Library. Put that out there. Voter registration, we had talked about the fact that they were changing identification rules, but the legislature passed that and then the governor vetoed it. So there's that level of extra stuff has gone away, but there are things about, making sure that because we are voter registration agencies, that we make sure our staff are making sure people sign in the little box on the form and don't run past the edges, and, encouraging them to put their phone numbers on in case there's some question about it. And yeah, just a lot of reminders about that.
Hey, Lynn,
Yes,
6B,
6B.
public libraries are authorized for voter. Just gonna throw this out to the group because it's reality, but what do we do in a situation if outside law enforcement or military decide to check on us and come inside? Because that's one of the things that they're talking about right now on a national level.
You mean
For
checking our
voting.
voter registration?
Making sure no funny business is going on, making sure everything's on the up and up.
Yeah, what we,
There's our floor.
yeah.
Make sure you do them for everybody.
Yes.
We're gonna take them to the board's office tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know that we really have anything to hide. I mean, there obviously have nothing to hide, but I mean, I think if they want to come in, I mean,
They
like,
can,
I mean,
yeah,
ultimately, it's the Board of Elections' job
Yes.
to verify voter registration.
Mhm.
So we're just a gathering point, is that right?
yes,
Just
we
like
are
a,
just a place where they can come and fill out the form.
I think they can do it, is it the post office too?
I believe.
I
the
think
post
you can do it
office
at a
is in
post
the-
office
Even
or a-
vocational schools
Yes.
now.
Oh, maybe so,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, I think they do, I was like a senior in high school and they did it with
Mhm.
us at school, but yeah, I think it's just a location by
It
which
is.
people can come to,
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and we have to, what, you have to be a designated voter registration location because we then have the responsibility of getting those forms to the Board of Elections within a certain time of them having been filled in. So as we would with anything, I mean, that is a protected document. And so we wouldn't be able to, we could not release anything without, our prosecutor, having them having a warrant or a subpoena.
Sure,
Yeah, so,
sure.
so that's, our.
But I'm just throwing that
Yeah,
out there
yeah,
as we
yeah.
get closer.
Yeah.
So are
I'm
law
hoping we're still gonna
enforcement
be under the
expected to
radar,
know To do that, like
mm,
they could just be like, this is on my
I-
job description now.
I
can go
know,
check through the
I know,
registrations.
I
Like,
know.
I don't, you know what
So
I mean? Like,
bizarre.
it's crazy.
It is
Right.
crazy. I look for
But-
that in like a larger city, urban area.
Yeah.
But,
All right, I threw it out there.
Yeah. you
All
threw
right,
it
we're
out.
done. Let's
No,
move
listen,
on.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't have anything else.
Okay, all right, so we're good on correspondence.
I like the fact that you play devil's advocate.
I do
with
too.
this whole thing.
Well,
It's reliability, we appreciate it.
I mean, yeah, we're not
We'll
living in
remember.
normal
Remember that
times.
meeting he said?
By any stretch. You have to expect the unexpected,
Right.
Mhm.
and then you have to worry about liability. Says the insurance guy. Okay, reports,
Okay.
Miss Sarah.
Okay, so because we have June and July to go through, I thought the best way to tackle that would be just to look at the second quarter recap. So that'll be the last report in your June packet. It's January through June. I thought we could go through that and then we'll go into the July reports.
Which one was this?
Yes.
So,
Yep, it's a running tab from 2013 all the way to 2026. So we're just gonna kind of run through that. I just wanted to point out the differences between 2025 and 2026. So I'm starting with the public library fund. You'll notice that we have not received as much this year as we did in 2025. So we're down almost $28,000 on PLF. Local taxes, slightly more, around $1,300 more. Homestead and rollback, almost $500 more. Services provided to other entities, up a little bit, $375. The other category, other receipts, we are down 552, and I think that's because last year we opened up so many special funds, and a lot of our money that we would have put in general are going to those special funds, which is not included in this spreadsheet. We now have a new line item called other miscellaneouses, and that is our new printing service. So we have nothing to compare, but year to date, at the end of second quarter, we had brought in $5,233 and for that printing service. So total general revenue, we are down $21,155 compared to 2025. So expenditures, you're gonna see that we are spending way less, which is what we needed to do. So salaries, we are down almost 3,500. And I think that has to do with our fluctuating headcount right now. So I'll still take it. Employee benefits down almost $12,000. That's where we want to go. Library materials, we were down 27,676. We were spending less. Other expenditures, we were up 9,783. I think we were just paying different things. So we did already transfer $15,000 from general to technology. So that's included. Without the transfer, I have all kinds of notes here. So without that transfer, we are down 33,057. And then if we include the transfer, down $18,057. So, we can't help what we're bringing in. We can help how we're spending. So,
Well said.
moving on to the July reports, unless people have questions about our quarter end report.
I just have a quick question on the material. That's a big chunk of change. Have you noticed any negative impacts with having less materials? Do you feel like you're missing anything, or do you feel like you're okay?
I think we're okay.
Okay.
Have patrons noticed at all that there's a difference?
Is it the hot spots?
Hotspots is part of that money.
I was gonna say, cause that's a big chunk of money that.
Hoopla is part of that
Oh,
money,
yeah.
where we reduced that. We're just being more selective because we've kind of been spoiled over the last few years and just kind
Able
of
to
buy
buy.
everything that we think they would like. And now it's, what do they really want?
Okay.
Or need.
Yes,
Already,
because it's
yes.
much more of a need rather than trying to help people really expand into different areas.
But there's not anything where it's like, we need that, but we can't buy it. You haven't ran into that yet.
I don't think so.
Well, that's good.
July reports, starting with the appropriation summary, everybody's favorite, busy report. So I'm comparing June, which I only obviously went over the quarterly report, so you do have the June packet, and then I'm comparing to July. So, salaries, we were down $8,490.78 compared to June. Once again, it's not having that manager, losing some headcount. Benefits, we were down $1,220. Library materials, we were down $8,720 compared to June. June is an expensive month because we're gearing up for SRP and we're buying more things. And then July, we're using those things. So operating expenditures, we were up $2,978.73. So our month to date general June compared to July, we were down $19,452. The very last page is a month to date for all funds. So all funds, we are down $41,203 compared to June. So July was a much cheaper month. Yay, I know. Bank reconciliation report. Just a little snippet of the month. Receipts, we brought in $146,193.50. Payments, $138,938.75. Adjustments, this was a big one. I adjusted E-rate. I adjusted SRP donations once we paid credit card. And then I did have some friends reimbursements from Sardinia. So almost 20,000 in adjustments. So that was nice.
Great.
I did make a boo-boo. You have never seen this before, but inflating bank errors. You usually just see deflating from petty cash, but I received E-rate money on the last day of the month, came in to start doing adjustments, and what did I do? I posted it for 8-3. I was so mad at myself. And Lynn said, "It's Monday." And I said, I was trying to be so careful. So that's gonna show up next month, but UAN, I had a call, they said everything would wash out. So I did want to point that I messed up.
And that's
I know it's
okay.
hard to do. Let's see, bank balances, primary peoples, first state and Star Ohio. So you can see those balances. Outstanding payments, I have 2 outstanding checks, Washington National Insurance Company, which always is on this. And then I have a Florida payment that keeps hanging out there. Maybe that one last week. Cash summary by fund, expenditures. Oh, I forgot to give the magic number of the night. Expenditures, $116,600.44. If you read that column, I'm on the cash summary by fund. You'll see expenditures. You see a lot of negatives this time. That's from all of the adjustments that I made.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Okay, Mark's favorite report.
Yep.
General fund cash flow. And I have a big exclamation point. We are positive. $30,000.
What?
Yes.
And what did we say, 25,000
29.
for that number?
Oh,
For the magic
I
number?
don't know, did we have a magic number?
I thought we did.
Was it 25,000?
Like, we didn't say zero.
No.
Right.
Right.
We said it should be at a minimum. Was it 25 or
It
50?
sounds
Probably
familiar,
good.
Mark.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that's.
I feel like it's been
Yeah,
forever
I-
since it
I
got
think
together.
that's-
Everybody's got their stuff.
I think we're gonna get there.
Everything.
And I will give a little secret that yesterday I thought our general tax property funds were gonna come in around 254, $20,000 more.
Wow.
Wow.
275.
That's big.
So that's for next month, but I was pretty excited. I was pretty excited to see that, so.
Now, the big question is, all right, so we're in the positive,
Yep.
just shy of 30. Are we gonna be able to keep the number there?
So,
Or is there any concern about it?
so I've been tracking month by month how that number has changed. And, the average growth, you know, towards that positive number and then is right about at, $28,000 or $30,000 per month. And so if we're continuing to save money in those big areas, the materials expenditures, you know, you're now finally, now that we've had a couple months worth of the health insurance, you're now seeing all the results of that change. I think we'll easily get to $50,000.
I do too.
I would hope that we're somewhere between 75 and 100.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be really awesome.
Okay,
So yeah, you can, if you take a look at our expenditures, June to July, look how much the payroll's changed. Now, that might have been because of less days per payroll, but, and then benefits. Look at January, we were spending $22,511 on benefits. We've shaved $10,000 off that.
now that's crazy.
And I think that's, and I think I reduced all of the estimates by $5,000 for benefits. I wanted to be conservative. I don't ever want to come above the number. So, it's definitely looking better. Any
Thank you.
questions about this?
No?
Okay.
That
Do
was
you remember,
excellent.
was it where we in Fayetteville, is that where we were sitting in the meeting where we were really laboring over the health insurance decisions? It was
Yeah.
the ICRA, we were having an ICRA discussion. And I'm like, I'm like you, like a forward thinking person, like this is where that stuff comes to fruition, but sometimes that's
Yeah.
hard to articulate in the moment. You're thinking like, I mean, we were laboring down to, I mean, minor details because it was like so important that we
Yeah.
did right by the taxpayers and we did right by the employees and how are we gonna do this? And, you know, and like, this is where that happens, you know, I wish it were instantaneous and it just isn't, you know, it's just, it
It's
takes a while,
gradual.
but then it does and you're like, okay,
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
all right, here we go.
I think it's a little bit easier,
Uh-huh,
you know,
yeah.
not completely easy, but
But,
easier.
Yeah, it just
We
makes
were-
a difference.
We were sweating it first quarter of the year for sure.
Yeah, and I
Until we
mean,
started
rightfully
seeing-
so,
yeah.
like, really, you know, it was bleak,
Yeah.
let's be honest, it was bleak.
So,
Yes.
questions about this cash flow?
Mhm.
Okay. Just a snippet of the month, July expenditure reconciliations, payments, $28,570. Both of the payrolls were in, $2,000 of each other, July 15th, $36,965, July 38,305. Board OPERS, $10,537, board Medicare, $1,058. Employer health, so this was your contribution to each employee, that was $2,784.10. Fees for Zizzle for the ICRA, $826.20. The board's portion of dental, vision, and life, $349 for dental, $47 for vision. Let's see, local taxes negative because we're just withholding them right now. Health insurance, the employees paid out of pocket $1,576.24. And then the vision, dental, and life that was withheld from the employee was $424.68. And that's our total expenditures, $116,644. And then the payment listing. Remember all the adjustments I said
There
at
you
first?
go.
You guys have legal, so it might be the very first page. Adjustments, all those negatives, adjustments. And we finally get into the payments. I looked through it, nothing was unusual. Did you have any questions about the payments that I made? Okay. And then you'll see those 8-3 dates, which, Fund summary, month-to-date expenditures, that middle column, 116,644. Open POs, 144,607.09. You'll notice the majority, well, last month we didn't have it, but this month we have capital projects at 52,407. That's all the Sardinia, the project. So we had to do a PO for that project to move forward, so. Revenue status, not much to say. A lot of our special funds are way over what we predicted for revenue. Next month, I'm gonna have a motion to do an amended certificate with our auditor to get those revenues bumped up. Questions?
Any questions for Ms. Sarah? Excellent, Sarah, thank you, thank you. All right, now we're gonna go into a series of motions. So we'll start with motion to accept financial and investment reports, approve paid bills, accept donations for June and July 2026.
A second.
Mark,
Yes,
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz.
Yes.
the motion to affirm transfer of 5,000 from the general fund 1000 to the technology fund 2002 in July per approved appropriations.
Just real quick, what is that for?
So, at the beginning of the year, you approved the transfers that we typically wait till later, but our technology fund was running low. We had some things we had to pay and had not yet gotten E-rate money back enough to balance it out. So we had to have a little bit more in there before all that E-rate refund came back in.
Now, when that E-rate comes, are you gonna transfer it back? You're just gonna keep
We're
it?
gonna leave it,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think $5,000
Yeah.
is gonna make a difference, and then if we do get to the end of the year and we don't feel we can make the rest of the
Yeah.
transfers, we won't make the rest of them. But
Yeah, we're doing little baby chunks as we need it.
I move.
I second.
Mark,
Yes,
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz.
Yes.
all right, next, a motion to accept $10,000 grant from the United Way of Greater Cincinnati for early literacy activities applied as follows. Fund 2011, Revenue 611-1002, $4,000. Appropriation 110-459-1002, $2,000. The Fund 2013, Revenue 611-1004, $1,500. Appropriation 110-459-1004, $750. Fund 2014, Revenue 611-1003, $1,500. Appropriation 110-459-1003, $750. And the last one, Fund 2015, Revenue 611-1001, $3,000. Appropriation 110-459-1001, $1,500. Need a motion, please.
Stupid question, but where's the other half?
Well, this is a grant that's going to carry over into next year, so we're
Okay.
only appropriating
26
half
is
of it to
For
spend this
26,
year.
yeah, there'll be
and then-
27. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Great
this
question.
grant came from United Way. You guys see the community engagement report that we turn in the Success by Six partnership that we've had with them. They are very pleased with the efforts that we've had with like our literacy kits and what we've been doing with our youth. So they said, Brown County is doing a really good job and we want to keep supporting Brown County. So that's where this money came from.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm impressed that you're getting money out of United Way because we got $10 last year.
my
We got $10. I mean, you know.
Or a
it's
coffee
$10.
mug.
Right, right, we didn't send any coffee mugs, so, yeah.
I'm gonna say this, it has been a lot of work.
I bet, oh, I'm
But the
sure.
literacy kits that we do, and we continue giving them feedback, like, this is
Yeah.
how many families
Yeah.
this is affected, this is,
Yeah.
so they have.
And
that.
that's the data they need, that's what they
Yes.
go on. My mom worked for United Way years and years ago, yeah, and it's very data driven for sure, so good job, kudos.
Motion,
I'll second.
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
April.
Yes.
Amber, and
Yes.
Liz.
Yeah.
Next item is the healthcare cost report.
At some point, someone had asked if we could break that out, in our savings to show you really what's going on. So I tried to come up with something that was relatively simple, but still gave you some accurate numbers. And so we've got here the first 3 months of the year, we were with Anthem. So it shows you what we were spending. And then we have now completed 4 months under the ICHRA plan.
Mhm.
And then we've got another 5 months in the year yet to go. So that's kind of a projections based upon what we feel like July was finally everything stabilized. So we actually had some real values going forward. And so we use those numbers to project total. So we've got total cost for Anthem, and I split it out by what the employees were paying and what the board cost was. And then at the very last column is what, for the new plan, the ICHRA, what the whole 9 months out of the year that we're with them, what it would be costing. So we're looking at spending $37,500 total. And I'm looking at next year kind of thinking, well, if we do the same kind of thing and prices don't go up, maybe we'd be spending $50,000 total for all of this. But if you recall our discussions with the traditional health plans, we were over that $100,000 mark. So we have cut our costs in half.
It's impressive. Yeah.
So that's just something to be, keeping again in the back of your mind, because I anticipate that no later than October, we'll have next year's plan for you to approve. It'd be great if they could get it to us in September, so we have more time to consider it. But, we'll need to be thinking about that whole, okay, should we be contributing $500 a month, whatever it is. And we will do our best to gather some real information from people who chose not to do it, versus doing one of the plans. And so there it is.
Thank you, Glenn.
You're welcome.
Next is the Ohio Plan Insurance Risk Management final cost, $14,404.
Want to report on that, since you had given us a total of $15,000, and Mark looked at the policy and it was all good. So just a report on how much we actually spent.
We have a very good policy. We do, and that should provide comfort in case something catastrophic happens. So we're good there. Okay, Georgetown roof repair, roof X, final cost $14,180.80.
And happy to report, after the big storm that we had, there was no leak.
Yes.
That's fabulous.
Yes, it is that.
Okay, next, the Purdue bequest for Georgetown, final settlement, $52,730.42.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Is that gonna go into a special fund?
So we split, part of it went into their grant fund so that they could use it for like the programs and such, and then other part of it went into their capital. Georgetown has its own capital improvement fund, because we used to have the Shelton Trust money that was there, and that was just for the upkeep of the building.
Okay,
So,
so that'll go towards that.
yes,
Okay.
it'll help with their building things, yeah.
I would imagine the Georgetown building is probably the most expensive to maintain. I mean,
It's
just,
100 years old,
I was gonna say, because
Just a
all the other
smidge.
buildings are newer, right? I mean, they're all,
25 to
yeah,
30.
and we're built one story, easy to, I mean, I can imagine that the upkeep on that building is probably intense, so.
Is it registered as a historical landmark?
Yeah. It should be.
I wonder what it takes, I don't know what it takes to
I
do that,
know.
but.
Yeah, I don't know what it takes either. It's a Carnegie style, but it is not a Carnegie building. So,
And they're pretty tight on their requirements for historical. Yeah.
yep.
Amazing when you think about it.
All right, on to the executive director's report, starting with Heather and the building report and statistics. And I think you provided June and July.
Yeah, June and July, summer reading program, so busy. Not as busy not as busy. We're a little bit slower this year, but still really good programs. I will say one of the comments that I had from our programmers is that it feels almost more intimate this year because some of the, we didn't have the big Zoom programs and things like that, but we had study or family nights between 45 and 60 and a lot of the same people, and they just feel like they're getting closer to the families. So I think I would prefer that. You're really building relationships. Hey, Tanya, you're on here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Got anything to talk about with summer reading program?
I think I'd agree. Our numbers were down a little bit, but again, you had more of the one-on-one attention, which really made a difference in our little guys this year. Last year we had so many, it was kind of chaotic. So this year, especially with the little ones, there was more one-on-one interaction. So it felt more specialized just for them. So I think the takeaway was greater than it has been in years past.
That's awesome.
Quality,
Yeah.
Yep.
I brought my 6-year-old up here.
Did you?
I did for the Pokemon. And he was in heaven because he's just the right age. I think he started at 6 and he's 6. So he got to be with the bigger kids. And he had a blast. He got a little book with all these little stickers that he found of all the Pokemons. He was running around the library looking at everything. Oh, he talked about it for days and days and days and days and said, when are they going to do that again? I'm like, I don't know. I'll find out.
That's called a positive impact.
Oh, yes. So what is this like build and break outreach like with the pots?
So that I think was done at Sardinia. Was it? Okay, so part of the grant that we had with the LSTA funds was for summer outreach, and they paid for like the materials. So she tried to do, that's Amanda and Hannah, and they went to Fair Park Apartments, which is basically behind the library, but around the world. And I'm not quite sure what the activity was. But I know that she had done like a Zen garden and.
Yeah, well, the build and break, I just like, I'm asking because it looks like similar to what they did in grief counseling at the school when Fernside come in after my daughter passed. They all wrote on a pot and that like it attached like everything that reminded each of the kids of Allie, and then they broke it and then they re-glued it back together. So they were broken, and it let them girls. So it reminded me of that because I have that plot at home. They gave it to me.
Knowing Amanda and Hannah, that's probably something similar to what they did.
Okay, I just think that's really cool that like,
I'll have to ask her what specifically they did. But yeah, our summer outreach went really well here. We added a location, which we went to the gingerbread house, the daycare, because those kids, they're kind of like all crammed into that one room, and they were so excited that we were coming and bringing, books. They made their own little library where they wrote out each book title that we took, and then who checked it out. So they gave us this like notebook of
That's
like
cool.
all of the things that, and it was really sweet. And we had, I don't know, like 25, 30 kids there.
I love that.
Wow.
And they were,
Of
yeah,
course.
yeah, they did. And we had the same kids at Deerfield or whatever, the townhouse apartments back behind Resnick Church, or what is it called now? Free People. The townhouse apartments back there, they wait on us, like they were ready, like.
By the
so,
bank?
Back
Behind the old Wallace's building.
behind the
right?
barber shop, yeah,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
back there, those apartments. So they wait, like, we were at these places first, that's the last place, and they're like waiting on us to come.
That's impressive.
Imagine what a highlight that is for those kids though, you know what I mean? Like when they get older, they're like, do you remember when the library used to show up and they would come in the summertime? Like they're gonna talk about that,
So that should be one of our mottos,
It's like when the book.
making memories.
Yeah, right, like.
Because you do, I mean, I have them. I know you do, I mean, we all do, but it's something you don't really think about from libraries, making memories,
Yeah.
because we do.
And I know, Sardinia has had mixed, participation and outreach over the last couple years. How many years? have we-
A lot, yeah.
So this year, Hannah was very positive, and she said she had one little girl that just loved the book so much that she couldn't carry all the books that she had checked out from their library. Hannah helped her take it to her apartment. So I was like, that's the kind of stuff I like to hear.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's positive.
Aw.
Yeah.
It does make a lasting difference, like, I remember every Saturday morning I would go to Winchester Library, and that's one of my biggest memories, is coming out with all the books.
Yeah.
Like, that really makes an impression on
It does.
children.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
And it makes me think like next year, should we get like little tote bags or little backpacks or
Yeah.
something they can like, tote. My grandma had an LL Bean tote, the iconic LL Bean tote. She had one that she put her library, which went to the library every week, checked out her books, went home, read, took them back. And she had like this worn out tote that she just used, it was like her library bag. That was her, yeah. Oh my gosh, you could get a kid started with a library bag when they were
Well,
little.
they give bags for summer reading
Do-
program.
yeah.
Yeah, we get little bags and we use them all year. And I have to say, the green ones, did every library use the green ones?
Just Fayetteville got those.
Okay, those were really nice, and not to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Against the other team, but we live close to Blanchester, so we go to Blanchester Library too.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
And they used plastic bags that did not last, and our bags are much more robust. And we're still using them. We can usually get a whole year's worth of use, yeah, with our library books, so.
Very cool.
And I will say with the outreach, that's why it's so amazing when we go back every year. This is our 4th year because we had 2 with the grant and we had 2 with this grant. We had one kid, his name's Jeremiah. He has came every year. So we've seen him grow, and his grandma has custody of him. So his grandma doesn't drive. So even though it's so close, he can't get here. And his reading level was really low. And now she has told us over time, it might not be where everybody's at, but it is much better.
Aw.
That's another good story.
Yeah.
Those are the things you write grants about.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Okay, Heather, anything on statistics noteworthy?
So like I said, it was a little bit lower than it has been.
I want to know how you got exactly at 40,000 printed materials, exactly, for June.
That's
I was
amazing.
like, oh.
Yeah, that's not one of those, yeah, how did?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Any questions on the statistics? No? Then we'll move on to announcements.
Announcements, so I gave an orange evening. Let you know that a lot of people here in Mount Orab has been replaced today. I'm assuming they got everything finished.
He said he wouldn't get it all done today,
Oh,
but
okay, it's mostly.
it's mostly done.
That's it, yes. I had a couple of months worth of community engagement reports, and as Heather mentioned before, the one at the bottom, the Success by 6 that we partner with, that's where the United Way, that's how we ended up getting the United Way grant, is because of our regular work with that group, and they see what we do, and yep, that it's good money.
And I don't want to brag,
But you can.
but there was another library, we're not gonna
Yes.
say Cincinnati, that was a little like.
A bigger library with more
Yeah,
money?
maybe a bigger library.
Huh.
They were like why didn't we get this kind of money or whatever? And they said, they do a lot with the little that they get.
Yes.
And they want to keep helping us.
Wow.
do
Yes, they
that.
told that other library that we got, yes, we do a lot with the little, so.
So I was like,
That is.
I like that.
And then it tends to be, if you saw a theme there, July, there are lots of organizations that don't meet in July. They take the month off,
Mhm.
so there was less activity with our partners than usual. I'll point out a couple of things in the cost reduction initiatives. The E-rate went up a little bit, but 3H, the health insurance program restructure, that changed from my last estimate based upon the numbers that we went over earlier. That went up $27,000. I feel easily that we can, save $40,000 of the total, the whole year from that. And so overall, our savings has grown by a little over $13,000 from the last report. And then, of course, in the funding initiatives, we added in the United Way grant. Some things coming up. Number 5, our consortium has been doing a month-long process of reviewing new, they used to call them ILSs, integrated library systems, but now they're library management systems, the cataloging, circulation, all of that kind of thing. And they will be changing the one that our consortium uses in the fall of next year. So it will be interesting to see how that rolls out and what kind of training we're going to have, but it is supposed to be all web-based, so it should function actually much better than the one we have now. And then the last one, we're really taking advantage of the Ohio plan. Not only do they insure us and provide risk management, but they have training databases and oh my goodness, what's the computer-based learning? It's interactive so that you actually get feedback and a certificate when you're done. And so we can now do the required harassment training online, and that's the first step, and there will be more to come. So
And it's free.
and it's free because it's all part of that. Yes, every single
You
one
have
of our
to
staff
take it.
members get their individual accounts and do the training that they're assigned, and so it's
I'm impressed with the print services profit.
Mhm.
Like, I was not anticipating that much.
Yeah, we were actually hoping for a little bit more, but I would say probably when it was late in February, maybe by the time things really started getting rolling with it. So we're really only looking March, April, May, June. So that's 5 months worth. I mean, so it's,
Like 800 a month. I mean, that's.
so we'll kind of, we'll see, at the end of the year, whether it entirely pays for itself, but we
Yeah.
were paying entirely out of pocket for the last one, so this is good.
Right.
Yeah.
What does SRP stand for?
Summer reading program.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
we throw
I
around
was
jargon.
like, I was thinking it was
Acronyms.
Maria or
Throw
something.
it
Okay.
around, yeah.
All right, let's go on to committee reports. Personnel Committee, we have some minutes that have been provided.
Oh my goodness, I can't find it.
Is someone on the Personnel Committee?
Oh,
wanna-
right, the minutes are just a white sheet right above, right before all the
Colored
others,
stuff.
all the other
Yeah,
color
right here.
changes,
Color.
yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, and the committee members reviewed this before we included it, so they feel it's accurate and all, but just so that,
We don't have that.
you don't have,
No, no
we
motion.
just, what Sarah wanted as part of the minutes, that
Okay.
the committee met and that you actually had minutes, and so, yeah, for your
Okay.
information. And it segues very nicely into the next.
It does. So we've got discussion first, right, before the motion.
You have several colors. Got that's kind of the background and overview. then you've got actual policies that are impacted, the staffing structure and their salary rate structure, and the position descriptions in gray and bright blue. And I do have some tacky visual aids if you want to see our organization chart and how that will look as we're, going to be changing that if that's the board's wishes. But as we have this vacancy in a Sardinia manager position, we really thought about how to fill that. And one of the things that Heather and I talked about is that, while our goal is always to hire and be thinking about developing people so that they can grow and advance and succeed, we have had, maybe a 50-50 success rate when it comes to frontline staff making that transition into management, and we needed to do something so that we have a higher success rate. And it's easier for the individuals involved to actually be successful and have it be a less stressful experience. So we brought to the personnel committee a proposal about the new position, which would be that stepping stone between frontline and full manager. And it would give the person a much more structured environment to actually learn all the things that they needed to learn to succeed as a manager. Ladies, you want to jump in and anybody talk other than me? So we, we essentially put this, we call a branch supervisor. We aren't married to that title. If somebody can come up with something brilliant that won't conflict with any other titles we have. But it fits in between the front line and our office administrator salary and the manager position. And it requires a mentor that is an experienced manager. So this person is not going to be just doing these things and learning. They will have to be managing their branch and learning with the really direct, close guidance of a manager. And so this means, some compensation for that manager who is given that additional work to do as well. And we saw that actually fitting very well into our team lead stipend, so that we don't have to get another stipend level. So I don't know, any questions about concept of it? I mean, this is really a developmental role. Yeah, go ahead.
So is there a concern that that's too many layers? So I'm thinking as a manager, you're going to have a team reporting to you.
Mhm.
Then if you're going to add in a supervisor, who's going to be reporting to the supervisor as opposed to who's going to be reporting to the manager? Typically, you would have the manager overseeing and not necessarily having any direct reports other than the supervisors that are there overseeing the day-to-day and being responsible for the employees. So how is that going to look?
So at the branch, there won't be a manager at the branch. That branch supervisor will be that lead person for the staff to go to. The big difference was they're not quite ready to do like that HR kind of stuff. So what we have found over the years is that we have definitely pushed people into roles that were not ready for it yet. And sometimes when you're going from that level of being comrades with the other people at the front desk, that they don't quite have the respect yet from the rest of the team. And they're just not confident yet. And having a support person for them. They need that support. They really do. We have in the past, we've done like the intern manager. So, you know, we just treated them straight like a manager. You went straight from the front desk and doing this work to all of a sudden, you should be ready to do schedules. You should be ready to do evaluations. You should be ready. And they're not. Schedules they can do, but evaluations and coaching,
Mhm.
they're not ready for that yet. So if we feel like if we put them in that level where, you know, they're not all the way up this, then they can kind of start, I guess, gaining more respect from the rest of the staff and still have support from somebody there that can guide them. that
So
makes
if you
sense.
think of the 4 branches, each branch is gonna have a supervisor.
No,
Okay, this is just gonna be for the one branch.
This would be a role that might be at any branch that is without a manager, right? So when I step away in the middle of next year and Heather steps into the executive director role, she's not gonna be able to manage the Mount Olive Library at the same time.
Mhm.
And do we have someone who we want to be moving into that role, but does not have everything they need yet and under their belt to do that? And so at that time, instead of hiring yet another manager, we say, we want this person who really wants to move up to manager. Great, you're in the developmental role of supervisor, and you will be assigned a manager from some other branch who is experienced to be your buddy and who you cannot do, and somewhere in here, I say something about, you know, you cannot make any decisions about HR things without it going through a manager. Now, usually it ends up having to go through executive director as well for, you know, really serious things. But learning how to do coaching, you know, that mentor is going to be there to ensure that whatever decisions the supervisor is going to be making and implementing, that they follow our policy, you know, and how that person has the support. So maybe a manager will be the one to sit in the corner and take the notes while the branch supervisor is having their first coaching session with a staff member, maybe has an attendance problem or something. But it's responsible for the branch, and only one person. You're not gonna have a manager and a supervisor at
That
the
was gonna
same
be my
time.
question, right?
You will have a supervisor, but that supervisor will have a manager mentor to make sure that supervisor has the direct support that they need to do these things. And, you know, I'll pass around something that, you know, we talked about a logbook. Team came up with the idea. So I started a draft of, I've got a couple of copies, so there will be a workbook. This is
There like a time frame that they can be a supervisor, like at 6 months or less or something?
So ideally, it's gonna take everybody a different amount of time, I think.
Sure,
to
but I
do
feel
this.
like sometimes it could, like, somebody could drag their feet and be like, I don't really want the full responsibility.
Well, you know, and that is one of those things that it could be a standalone position, you know, because there might be somebody who can do like everything except one thing, you know, and might never be able, because personnel, you have to have certain personal characteristics to be an effective leader and supervisor, and sometimes somebody's missing just a little something. My mind is that someone could remain as a branch supervisor in that role as long as we need them in that role, but that there is not guaranteed indefinite. But they could remain that with a mentor to deal with whatever specific thing needs to be addressed.
Then would you be putting the mentor, like, more stress on them to follow, like to finish what the supervisor is not doing. And if they don't really ever get there, then the mentor is stuck doing those duties.
Now, I don't see the mentor, and if you have some other idea about this, say so, but I don't see the mentor as doing those things. The mentor
I mean,
is-
because they wouldn't be doing any HR. So would you just take, or like whoever the executive like director is, would they just do all the HR then if that person continues not to do it and like says, I don't,
I don't think that that's a performance thing that we would allow, if you really, we're gonna be having conversations with some internal candidates. And the idea is, you're in this position
as a stepping stone.
as a stepping
Yeah.
stone.
Okay, I
back
just,
to
is there a time?
Can they
frame?
step
Like, I feel
back
like-
down when, if the mentor sees that this might not be a good fit?
I would say that, if you decide you want to take a promotion, you're really serious about this, and we've done all of our, I know some people get a little irked at me sometimes because I take so long to hire people, because you're gonna talk to this person, we're gonna do this, we need to make sure this person is the right person. And they need to make sure that they fully understand what they're getting into. I'm not going to say it would never be possible for someone to go back, but there would have to be a position open, and it would have to be the right conditions.
Well said, well said.
Yeah.
So the supervisor would report it to you, right? If you would, from a hierarchy, I'm just thinking about like a hierarchy level, like who did they report to?
Both.
The executive director
Is,
is there.
is the ultimate.
Right, yeah, the
authority.
mentor is
Yeah.
just a partner, but they were, so the staff at that Sardinia location or Fayetteville or wherever, who do they report to?
The supervisor.
The supervisor.
So they will have direct reports?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay, I
yes.
was under the impression they wouldn't.
No,
okay.
they will, but
They can't make decisions on their own.
That's right.
I think of the mentor as like a consultant, sort of,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
somebody that,
And making sure
Kind
they're
of-
hitting their milestones.
right, exactly, like you don't answer to this person, but you kind of bounce ideas off of them and go, hey, I've got this situation, I'm thinking about handling it like this. Would you recommend that kind of thing? But yeah, I mean,
I'm getting more of a team lead vibe than the supervisor vibe.
I
Yeah.
like the name
I like team lead.
associate branch manager. Like you could have, it's an associate role, right? That moves into a branch manager.
People are gonna look at the title. Because I was in a situation right out of college where I was the distribution center manager for the Cintas Corporation, 50 female employees, and I had a team lead. And that team lead would do a lot of the logistics in the distribution center. The employees would come to her, and then I would oversee. So she took on a lot of that responsibility, but she wasn't involved in, one-on-ones, difficult conversations, discipline. That would all come from me. So when I think of supervisor, I think all that comes into play. Those one-on-ones, performance reviews, difficult situations, discipline, that's just my opinion. Whatever the group wants to go
See,
with.
when I hear team lead, I think more of the mentor manager, and it even says receive stipend at the team lead level.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I see it more as the mentor, as being the team lead instead of the supervisor. as the team lead.
And in this situation, the mentor is a branch manager,
Mhm,
which is interesting.
mhm.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter when, it's a great concept. It is. It's a good concept.
Well,
think it
and I
is
want
too.
people to understand how we intend this. This really is the stepping stone role, and I know in some corporate situations, they have developmental roles because they want this person moving up to here, and they have got to be doing things and learning that job before they get there. And that's what this really is intended to do. but we need to do it in a structured way that doesn't make a manager be a manager of a second building,
Mhm.
but just is that consultant, whatever, support, but
The
There's-
mentorship part of it is big.
it is, and
You identify a young rock star, you immediately assign a mentor. You know, you're having those discussions, hey, at some point, you're going up.
right,
We've assigned Heather, and she's gonna be your mentor, and you're gonna start spending time with her during the week. That is huge.
What about like branch operations lead?
Oh, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
I don't know, just-
because they're involved in the operation of the branch
Mhm.
operation
And they're
lead.
still a lead
Mhm.
over their
I like that.
employees.
Could there kind of be like a footnote on the staff structure page where it talks about the core responsibilities and the qualifications? Maybe a footnote down there that just kind of indicates that each location will have either a manager or a branch supervisor, or whatever we call it. One or the other, so that there's not ever confusion about like,
Yeah.
why don't we have, you know what I mean?
Do I
Like,
go
so it's
to
like
Heather?
delineated, right? Like, you're gonna have one or the other, you're not gonna have both.
Yeah.
I agree.
and that's one of the things that, in my ugly scribble, the organization chart, the manager positions, it would say manager
Or supervisor,
Right.
right, so that there's, yeah, so that there's no, because I mean, you could get to a point, not that you would want to, but I feel like you, especially with budget constraints, like you might get to a point where maybe really only have one manager at like Mount Orb, and then you have a lower paid branch supervisor and the other 3 branches, and maybe that's because they're not open as many hours, or maybe it's because their patron count's not as high, or maybe it's because I don't know that having one manager is the ideal situation, because it seems like it puts a lot on that person, but at the same time, like you could probably end up, you know. I think if that's the case, I think that the $1.50 an hour that the mentor receives, I think that should be like per mentee. I mean, I think if you're the manager and you end up mentoring 2 people at the same time, you should get $3 an hour instead of $1.50, yeah.
Well, and our hope would be that no mentor would have more than one
Mhm.
person at any given time.
Right, yeah.
You know, and that it would be, you know, I can't say that, gee, it should take a year for somebody to work through the
Right.
entire, I mean, we've got about like 16 different categories of benchmarks that they
Yeah.
have to be able to
Right.
achieve before they can
Mhm.
move into, you know, be eligible to be a full manager.
Right,
And so, you know, might take somebody 6 months,
right,
might take somebody a year and a half.
right.
So, I mean, this is the first time, I don't know what's
I mean, and
likely.
when you're interviewing for the position, they know going into it, this is a conversion role, this is not a static role, right? Like, this is a stepping stone, and, you know, in my organization, right? When someone gets a promotion, they have already been doing that job for 6 months, and they've proved that they can do it.
Mhm.
They don't take someone that says, oh, you've got potential, and then throw you in it,
Mhm.
because they're setting you up for failure.
Right.
So this
right.
gives them an opportunity to do the job with a safety net, meet their goals, and then
Move into the
cut
next.
the strings.
Yeah.
Right.
And part of Lynn's responsibility, Heather's responsibility from the organization overall is you always have to have a pulse on who your little rock stars are.
Mhm.
You do. And then you identify the little rock stars and you start talking about, where do I see them in 3 years? Where do I see them in 5 years? You know, so you've got that already established, and if you create this position,
Something to aspire to.
yeah.
Well, and something that we talked a little bit about too is more in the short term, the need for Mount Orb. Because, you know, what's actually happening with you too is kind of the same situation, right? Like, you're working interim with Lynn as your safety net, but at some point that safety net's gonna be gone. So now you need someone here in Mount Orb, branch supervisor, whatever, that you can start mentoring now. So when that takes over, it's just continuous. And so that's where I feel like the immediate need is, not only Sardinia's missing a manager, but also for Mount Orab, right? And so right now, you have an opportunity to mentor before you get into Lynn's full-time role, I guess. That's my main concern, is just having someone ready to go, because I don't want to put that all on you.
And you want to have Mount Orab be a little more self-sufficient when you do step into her role, like knowing that the beginning of you being the director is gonna be chaos, because it just always is, no matter how prepared you are, you know,
Yeah.
something always, you know, goes a little haywire, and it would be nice if you could like pass Mount Orab off to a qualified person and maybe not have to worry about it as much. And if the person that you passed off Mount Orab to was struggling, if they had another manager that they could go to before they have to come to you and take up your time, that might help too, you know, just to free you up a little bit, so.
Question that I have, Tanya's been around for a long time, right?
She's on, yeah.
And, if we have to have two, right, so we have Mount Orab.
Yeah.
Tanya, would she be open to mentoring whoever comes in at Sardinia? You know, like, that's, you have those two managers right now, you have two opportunities, right? Because if Heather takes over and Tanya's, you know, the most senior person as a manager, she can't take two people on.
Right.
Well, you know, remember this, that also, that while we'll be switching roles in the middle of next year, I'm not going away.
Yeah,
And so,
you can mentor. That'd
Sure.
be awesome.
Sure.
you know, there's that as well. So, you know, there's,
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
we're providing, or we're gonna vote on a motion or pass a motion for all this that you created
with a footnote,
with the,
with the footnote about the,
but also
Yeah.
open for revision.
everything we do is open for revision.
Well, then, I mean,
Everything we do.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Tina,
I think it makes,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a succession plan that is
It
needed.
is.
okay,
Yeah.
well, let's put it to motion. All right, motion to approve the personnel policy revisions and additions. Section 17 staff structure, section 19 schedule of salary ranges, branch manager position description, and branch supervisor position description. I need a motion, please.
I'll second.
Mark,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
April.
Yeah.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz.
Okay, next in our hay colored, straw colored page, motion to approve disposal of property.
My favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'll make that motion.
I will second that motion. Mark.
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina. Yeah. April.
Yeah.
Amber.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, number 8,
1999.
motion to approve the revised contract with Library Design for Sardinia remodeling project at a cost of $52,407, which is a slight increase of $2,538, which is going to be all the paint.
So furniture will be ready the end of September. So we are scheduling Sardinia to be closed the 5th, 6th, and they'll be partially open on the 7th because they have a program that night and they said they'd be ready by that point. And we have to close so they can do the changes and all that shelving.
Mhm.
And moving.
That's a lot, too.
Yeah, October 5th, 6th, and 7th. We had to have some adjustments. Some of the conversation with Sardinia that they did not know about was they wanted to get, there was some shelving that was gonna go away. They don't want the shelving to go away. And with everything that we are already cutting as far as shelves there, I don't want it to go away either. So they actually asked to have across from the desk where they have the bulletin board at Sardinia. I don't know if they have new books there or what is in that, they're gonna be adding one more shelf. So originally they were gonna take those shelves and they were gonna use them to build more. So instead of doing that, they're gonna take what they have from the other parts, they're gonna add another shelf, and they're still gonna have one more mobile shelf in the children's area, so we can get rid of all the spinners that are, so all of those will be gone. Which they have already, they've been working really hard getting it cleaned up. And they have given the furniture, most of that furniture that we're getting rid of, the Christian Academy has already kind of picked up.
Oh, very nice,
Vacation.
very nice.
And this week they're having their book sale, so, Jason said it's going really well, and they already have somebody that will take the books that don't sell.
That's
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like,
Are they
thank you,
located
Jason,
at
because I was gonna say,
432?
dude, we can't have these books in here.
Like, we have to clean
We have to clean this out.
Yeah.
We donated to the,
I think it's just some of the Christian schools doing.
no, it's not that one,
Yeah, they're starting it this year.
but it's
Yeah,
Bonner County.
I just read that somewhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
they did, they took the big computer corral, that was on the kids' side,
Mhm.
and then one from the adult side, and a couple tables.
Good.
Very nice.
Great.
Are the
like
computer tables and all that gonna stay in the same place, or is that moving?
Well, there's only one computer table left now,
Okay.
so there's two ones that were beside each other.
Yeah,
There's only gonna be one
okay,
there now, and then the one that was over in the children's section, and it just
Yeah.
kind of been shoved over.
right,
It's gone.
okay.
Yay.
Yeah, so essentially what we were going to reuse for shelving, we had to get some more shelving, and so that's a big part of the cost. Now, because we got rid of a lot of the furniture on our own, we actually should see some reimbursement because they included in their cost proposal removing furniture.
I was gonna
So,
ask about
so the
credits. Make it a
bottom
credit.
line is we might end up paying what the first proposal was, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but it's still under budget, so.
How about a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Mark,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz. Yeah.
All right, number 9, motion to approve the SEO Consortium Services Contract with the State Library of Ohio for July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027 for the annual fee of $29,338.60, which is a decrease of $191.73. It's the white
Imagine that
paper.
something went down.
No.
What's
No.
the catch,
I'll make that motion. If it's the same as what we've been
Yes,
at last, then
Yep.
I'll make that motion then.
I'll second.
Mark,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz.
Yes.
Okay, here's a classic, number 10. Motion to approve the purge of patron library accounts with no activity in at least 3 years and fines or fees or bills of $40 or less. There's 1,476 accounts totaling 17,616.69. It's an increase in accounts by 40, but a decrease in dollar amount 3647.41. Need a motion.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Mark,
Yes. All
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz.
Yes.
right, last item. What are we calling this?
This is the calendar, next year's calendar.
No, the color.
Oh, this is bright orange. This is
Bright
burn your
orange.
eyeballs orange.
Yeah.
Neon.
Neon,
80s orange.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
I like that. Now, it says this is for discussion.
Yes, this is for discussion. We like to have an approved calendar no later than September because, you know, we need to be planning for next year already. But we typically state our hours and the dates that we are closed. We're not making any recommendations at this point about changing our hours starting for January. But we know that we need to plan for contingencies because we don't know what's gonna happen with the state budget. And so we've been throwing out ideas about, well, you know, if we have to get to the point of changing hours and schedules, what could that look like? And so, but I've been throwing a secondary schedule in there for several years now. And so this is a little bit different than the last time, but we're essentially looking at reducing the number of days at our two smaller branches, but extending the hours that they're open, each of the days that they're open. So they're open both in the morning and then at night.
Yeah, I like that.
And then essentially leaving Georgetown and Mount Orb's schedules alone, but looking at the possibility of extending the Saturday hours a little bit, since only two branches would be open on Saturdays rather than having 4 branches open. You know, underlying this, you know, it means that staff from the 2 branches that are not open on Saturdays would need to do shifts at the other 2 branches to do their share of Saturdays. You know, I had the managers look at it, and the feedback so far is that, you know, the Saturday, would there really be enough activity, you know, to justify extending from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock on a Saturday? I don't know, but it's something I think that we might want to offer that as a trade-off. And if you're sending somebody to a different branch to work, you know, having a full shift might be easier for scheduling them off another day during the week. So, you know, there are things we need to talk about. You know, I also, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, you know, maybe quarterly, the branches that aren't open regularly on Saturday could have a special event on a Saturday and have regular library activities in addition to an event, so that there's, you know, there's something going on and we're not just closed all the time. But, you know, those are just kind of all ideas about what we might do in the event that we need to be even more efficient with our funding. As far as the days that we're closed for holidays, you know, the days that we are closed are actually the paid holidays for our staff. I was reminded, it had to reminded me that July 5th is the official holiday, so why don't we, it'd be easier for scheduling if we closed on the Monday rather than the Saturday. You know, I'm thinking, gee, close on Saturday and then you get Saturday and Sunday on the weekend and nobody has to work a half a day on Saturday, but you know, that's, yeah.
They
And it
call,
would be easier for scheduling.
they
Make
call
scheduling a
that
whole lot easier.
July 4th observed.
Yes,
Mhm.
whatever.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, so that was, you know, the one thing, and then Tanya reminded me that we have the fair parade is starting earlier this year, and probably the same thing will be true next year, just because the parade has gotten so big, so we would have to close at 2 o'clock on that 27th, rather than at 3, in order for everybody to get there. And all. So that's kind of the idea, and I don't, you know, out there for the board to consider how that balances with, you know, providing service, or that is that we also close 2 days for in-services, March 12th and November 5th next year. So
I have a question.
yeah,
I don't know what the traffic looks like for Sardinia and Fayetteville on Saturdays. When I look at potentially having Friday and Saturday closed at Sardinia, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Fayetteville, as a working parent, that's when I go to the library, you know what I mean? Like Saturday mornings, I feel like are crunch, but if you guys notice there's not a lot of traffic, then it's justifiable. But to me,
That's what I was
If I
thinking the
work in the
same exact
city,
thing.
Yeah.
I would rather see the hours stay the same on the days that they're open for like me looking at Fayetteville, I'd rather those hours stay the same. Monday, like the 11 to 7, and then the 9 to 5, and then have a Saturday of 5 hours, and it still decreases it by 1 hour. So it'd still be
And it's a
29.
block, it's a block of 4 days where the library's shut in a row.
I don't
You
love the
know,
optic of that. too.
Yeah, 4 days in a row
Right.
for both
Yeah.
branches.
Again, perception, like,
I
right,
know.
we're paying money and they're closed. half the
Right,
day.
yeah, you're
Mhm.
exactly right, like, yeah, I mean, we know
Even though
there
we
are
know, right. yeah.
right
Mhm.
reasons for it, but how is it gonna be perceived?
Yeah.
Well, you know, that brings up an interesting point, because as, you know, and I'm thinking historically here, okay? Because this is not my first rodeo. I've
No,
been
it
around
isn't.
for a while. And I think about 2003, 4, 5, as we incrementally shrunk. I mean, we just little bit, we'll shave off an hour, closing, you know, open an hour later, but kept the number of days open. There was no recognition from the public that there was any
Yeah.
problem. Okay,
Because
so
it's
now
so
let's fast forward to 2008, 2009, when the economy tanked again. And we had to do some very drastic things, right?
Mhm.
So when we finally got to the point where we only had branches open 3 days a week
Mhm.
and 4 days a week, and we all took 10% reductions of hours, that was when finally people said, oh,
Yeah.
you're in trouble, and they said yes to a lot.
Mhm.
So I know it's a balance. I mean, I entirely understand that it's a balance between service and, you know, what we can afford. But if we have to send a message, this is going to get more attention. Doesn't mean we couldn't, you know, do something different, like maybe we say we close another weekday for the big libraries somewhere and keep the Saturday out. I don't know, but that's why we need to be thinking about this and having these discussions about what, you know, where is that balance, but yeah.
Yeah, and the bottom chart is considering state funding changes. We're,
Yes.
we're forced
If
to
we're
do
forced to
something,
Yes.
and then we don't really have a choice,
Right.
you know?
I would just advocate for Saturdays. I just feel like you can take any other day. But you know,
Yeah.
just for, especially people that work in the city, you know, you work till 5 o'clock,
Mhm.
you don't get home till after 6 o'clock.
And just
Mhm.
kids,
And just, yeah,
Mhm.
Right,
yeah.
kids.
get it,
Mhm.
I get it.
So that would be my
Okay,
recommendation.
I
Is that what you
appreciate
were hoping
Yeah,
for?
yeah, absolutely. Wanted discussion and feedback and, you know, and all that kind of thing. Again, this is just a possibility, and so if you think that all of the rest of it is fine, if the, you know, we keep our hours as they are, and with the observed July 4th
Mhm.
change to the Monday, and changing the closing on 27th to 2 o'clock. You know, if otherwise you're okay with that, you know, and you want to approve it now, then we can get it published as is, and we can continue to, I would remove that middle section from our official calendar, and we'll continue to talk about it. You know, and
So the top one would be what?
the top one would be
Yeah.
what we write with.
Okay,
I'm okay
So
with that.
you want
yeah.
a motion?
If you're good with it as is, and I don't think that there's anything, you know, the managers can give any comment about this year's hour,
Or what we're doing
or what we're doing now, so, yeah, so I feel like if you're ready, why don't we take care of it, since we've already talked about it this month, and you
Okay,
know, it doesn't have to be on the agenda next month.
all right, then I will make a motion to approve the Brown County Public Library 2027 calendar as presented.
Can we change the July holiday instead of the 3rd be the 5th?
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
said, yes,
Okay.
with the observed, yes.
Yep, with the
With that
exception of
change and the 2 o'clock on the-
changing the 3rd to the 5th. So there's a
And
motion.
like getting rid of that middle section,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Alright.
on the official calendar, that middle
Okay.
section would not be there, just the top, and then the citywide closures
Okay.
with those 2 little changes that Tanya and Heather pointed out to me.
All right, we have a motion on the table.
I'll
I did.
second, yeah.
Okay,
Who did the first? I missed it. I think.
I made a motion.
And you,
I'll
okay, sorry,
second.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I hadn't, but I will.
Oh. Mark,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Tina,
Yeah.
April,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Liz.
Yes.
Any other business?
Gavel drop.
Gavel has dropped. Next meeting, September 16th, 6 o'clock PM, Mount Hope Library, trustee interviews, followed by the regular board meeting. So it'll be at 6 o'clock. So let's all get it in our calendars.
Yeah, and then my question would be, normally we start doing the fiscal officer and director evaluations in September and October. So since we're gonna be doing trustee interviews, I didn't know if you wanted to do
October,
in
November.
October, just make, well, yeah. There's not gonna be after.
We're not meeting on the day of the
No,
meeting,
no.
yeah.
So October, we do both of them as a special meeting starting at 6, the evaluations.
Sure.
Okay. Make myself a note so I don't forget.
Where are we in September here?
We're here.
Here.
I'm suggesting we're here just because of
Just making sure I have.
the 2 reasons. I don't know about the traffic and the road construction in the middle of Georgetown right now or on that date. And number 2, if the trustee is being interviewed to fill this role, I think I'd rather have that person.
Yeah.
skill set.
Well, yeah, I agree. Party is over.
They are paving in Georgetown. They intent is to have at least this Hugh Street open the week of Labor Day,
Oh, wow.
before the fair.
Okay.
Wow.
That's-
Thing.
Now, life
We've been
happens,
through that.
but.
Yes, I would try to get to the FSA office from like paying my.
Yeah, I am convinced that like, this is the first summer I can remember where you try to get somewhere, you're like, you literally can't get there from here. There's
No.
like the bridge to Maysville, Old Bridge to Maysville shut down until
Yes.
September 2027.
That's
Oh,
just
wow.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
old one is
gosh.
shut down for over a year. And the new one is down to 1 lane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just FYI.
One,
Yeah.
each way.
Yeah, each one, yeah. So you're not gonna get there very easily, and you can't get through Georgetown. And there for a while, they had Old 68 at the between Georgetown and Ripley also closed. So even if you could make your way through, it was just, to my husband, I'm like, I think we're just on an island here at our house. We just can't get anywhere. Like, oh my goodness.
You live in town, right?
Well, yes and no. I do. I live
134,
inside the
all the
Burberry
Yes,
stores, but we live
yes.
off 68.
Yeah,
So
it
our-
like, and then with the tornado that went through, and I was like going to 88, and I was like, shoot, I gotta
live in
turn.